All right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we are back for another week of Just a Fan podcast.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. That's right. Hold on, real quick. What? Okay, my bad. I am your host, quarter host, the Wildcat quarterback that runs this thing, the NFL Encyclopedia, Coach Williams, and yes, I still say right brick on my brick. Okay. My Cowboys lost to the Bengals. I was glad about that because, well, but you know what? I'm glad because we got a little bit higher in the draft order, but not as high as I thought we would, and I know the reason why. But that's fine. Anyway, okay, that direction, panel 316.
Still
The good guy with the black hat, and he says, "Oh, still the same thing."
Yeah, it's still Shanahan's fault. I don't care if they won. It's Shanahan's fault.
What's up, Eric? So yeah, all right. So
What I mean,
man, I tell you what. So last week there was some news. Okay, it was now former NFL head coach had interest in the UNC job, which was previously held by former Texas head coach, and this was the second stint at UNC, Mac Brown. Okay, he's not there anymore. Um, but Bill Belichick interviewed for the UNC job. Interesting enough. Okay. And I was like, okay, maybe just interviewing, just be interviewing. But then I read some stuff like this is really serious. And so Monday, it seemed like he had signed, but then some source was saying that he hadn't officially signed yet. He went through two interviews and they interviewed somebody else. I forgot who else they interviewed, but then a few hours ago, I think about 4 or 5 hours ago, roughly, he officially signed his 3-year, $30 million contract officially with UNC. He's getting his staff together. The transfer portal opened up this past Monday, so I know he's going to try to get some guys in there. But, gentlemen, what do y'all think about Bill Belichick, this legendary football head coach, one of the best of all time, is now coaching football at Chapel Hill, North Carolina?
well, I think he might do okay. That now, one thing I can say that I can pretty much guarantee, it's going to be a disciplined team. They're going to be extremely disciplined. They're going to be extremely businesslike. Or you just going to have to find somewhere else to play. That's if you're going to play for the University of North Carolina now. He made a comment in the media earlier, and we're going to talk about comments about a lot of people this show. People made. He wants to turn a collegiate program into one that mirrors the NFL, an NFL franchise. Now, I think that's wishful thinking because in the NFL, we're talking about guys who were anywhere from 22 to almost 40. Okay. UNC college football, we're talking about guys who were 18 years old, just got through cleaning out their hallway locker from high school, all the way up to 22-year-olds. And I just don't see that happening. Do I think he can build a winning program? I believe so. Uh, but is it going to be one to rival an NFL franchise? No. Can you model it after NFL franchise? Sure. If you're given those aspects of being very businesslike, being very disciplined, this is what it is. We're not gonna coddle you. There's nothing wrong with that. But I mean, it's let's be real. It's the ACC. It's not like it's a big deal. But I'm just being real.
No, I get it.
But who knows? He could maybe turn that into a perennial.
Yeah.
Okay, well now we got to start looking at UNC for football as well as basketball. Now, UNC always been a basketball school. But his name alone attached to that football program is going to bring them cachet. Just his name alone.
Definitely.
Just like when Prime went to Colorado, his name there, when nobody checking for no doggone Colorado till Prime got there.
Not since the Cordell Stewart days.
Yep.
Yeah, the Cordell Stewart, Eric Bieniemy days. That's the last time that somebody was checking for the University of Colorado.
Exactly.
Prime got there, his name got attached to that program. Now everybody, oh, I'm a Colorado fan. Shut up. You weren't no dog.
Well, I think, the big, and you said it, Eric, the big thing with Prime is, even at Jackson, he set the tone for the culture in the locker room, with Bill Belichick saying NFL, like an NFL team. I think he just means a culture, discipline, accountability aspect. And like you said, the ACC, they're wide open, man. Shoot, you could tell it's a situation where he's gonna be able to do whatever he wants down there. He can run his show his way down there, and that's appealing to coaches, especially coaches like a Bill Belichick. And from a recruiting standpoint, you go down to UNC, you play well, you win. Bill Belichick, he knows everybody in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
When you have these scouts come out, you have your pro days, interviews. He can pick up a phone and say, "Hey, this guy is the real deal," and they'll believe him.
Mm-hmm.
They'll believe him.
Yep.
That's gonna make people want to go play because it's like, and that's a good point, Steve. Because people are gonna, they believe in Bill Belichick. So Bill Belichick signs off on a guy and says, yes, he's gonna make your franchise better. Then they're gonna be like, you know what? We're gonna take a fly on this guy. He wasn't on our big board, but Bill is speaking for him. So yeah. It could be that. So no, that's a good point. But yeah, I think that, just like I said, his name attached to it is gonna bring the level of the program up.
I also expect that defense to be very, very good, because we know how Belichick is with defense. I'm sure he and whoever's going to be on the staff are going to start breaking down ACC film like crazy, and come up with game plans on how to beat them and stop them. I'm just interested in seeing who his offensive coordinator is going to be. That's what I'm interested in. He said, what?
Josh McDaniels.
It probably would be Josh McDaniels, but see, he's going to have to do what Nick Saban did, and that's bringing those guys that knows offense and that knows the whole spread game. Okay? That's what he's going to have to do. Now, do you guys have an idea why he went to UNC and not back to the NFL?
I think there's a certain level of control you have when you are the head coach of a Division I college football program. Those guys actually got more say-so about what goes on than some NFL coaches.
And that's why he went. That's a huge reason why he went back, because
I think there's a control. Yeah,
because it was a lack of interest in him last year, and he probably felt like it was going to be like that again this year, and so because New England, that's why New England got that's a large reason why New England got rid of him, was because they wanted more than one voice controlling personnel decisions. Because if you look at New England now, Like almost everybody has a voice. It's not just Belichick as the sole voice anymore.
Hmm.
So,
And I think he's going to be the judge, jury, and executioner in North Carolina,
yep.
and that's going to, you know, it's having that control, and they're going to have a tendency to want to, uh, they're going to have a tendency to want to give him carte blanche as opposed to NFL, um, because again, it's the big fish, little pond uh, mentality. Like, you know, if I give you an example. You know, I'm a band director. Okay, right now, one of the hottest bands in the HBCUs right now is Jackson State University. Dr. Little is their band director. Met him, know him personally. Um, if he decided to go and be a high school band director, y'all feel where I'm going?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah, whatever you say, Dr. Little. Yeah, oh yeah, okay, yeah. Because he's stepped down. He already had a measure of success on this level, and he's come down a level.
Mm-hmm.
And people gonna tend to believe you in what you say do, because all he had to do is he gonna say kiss the rings. You know what I'm saying? If I can win a Super Bowl or several Super Bowls in the NFL, what you think I can do for this franchise right here? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
this college team.
And look, man, and he's getting older. It's a lot less working scrutiny going there than a way bigger school or back to the NFL. You know, the pay is almost the same as most NFL head coaches.
It really is. $10 million a year.
3 years, yeah, $10 million a year.
So yeah, I didn't even know his contract. See, exactly.
3 years, $30 million.
So it's like, why not? You know, if they win a few more games next season than they did this past season, it's already a success.
Not just winning more games this year and the next year, but also beating North Carolina State of Raleigh, North Carolina, the Wolfpack, because I think Mac Brown was not beating North Carolina State.
No.
Yeah.
So
well, if the win record increases by a few, it's already a success in the first year. You know,
the first step is beating your rival.
Always.
Okay. The second step is winning your conference. The next step is threatening for a national title, and then the next step is actually winning one. That's the fourth step.
Or if you're not threatening for a national title, at least get to a bowl game and win those bowl games. You got to win those bowl games.
Yeah. So yeah, if you get to a bowl game, yeah, that's a step. You know what? You're right, Brandon. I skipped the step. So beat your rival, win your conference, which that's going to get you to a bowl game. Get to a bowl game because you're bringing in revenue for the school.
Yep.
Okay. Threaten for a national title. Just be in the conversation with them 16 teams at the end of the year.
Listen.
And then win one.
Listen. Matt Campbell, Iowa State just got an extension today for 6 more years.
See?
Golly, man. I tell you, man, these college coaches are getting some good contracts, man.
They're getting the bread, but they get in the bag. But for those of you watching at home who don't watch us on a regular basis, we're primarily an NFL podcast, but this bears relevance to the NFL as of right now. So that's why we're mentioning Bill Belichick going to UNC. Normally because if we talk college football and pro football, our podcast will be 3 hours long each week. So we
ain't doing 3 hours. We ain't doing 3 hours.
We're not doing 3 hours for real. I gotta go to the bathroom sometimes. So we're not gonna do that. But
I was gonna say I gotta go to bed. We gotta go to work tomorrow. We got real jobs until this thing blows up, y'all. We got real jobs we gotta do. So but no, the relevance of us bringing up Bill Belichick is because he had such a measure of success in the
NFL, and now he's going down to the college ranks. Now, let's segue, because now we can talk about a coach who's leaving a college position and could potentially wind up back in the NFL, and that's Mr. Eric Bieniemy.
You know what? It's interesting because, he said he went to UCLA to help out Deshaun Foster. And if he stepped down after 1 year and he's talking about going back to NFL, that's telling me that somebody's interested in him. Because to me, you don't step down for no reason
Oh yeah.
and then say, "Oh, I'm going back to the NFL. I'm getting into the NFL head coaching cycle." Somebody has interest in you. The question is who, and I'm interested in that who.
My question is not even. I don't even care who. My question is, and this is where I'm going, is what capacity are they asking you to come back to be a head coach, or they ask you to come back to NFL to be an offensive coordinator again?
I'm assuming head coach.
I'm thinking.
I mean, the assumption is there, but the reality, it could be. Hey, we asked you.
But I have an idea or two of who would love to have him as a head coach if he's an offensive guy, which we know he is. But if they want to really strengthen their offense or young quarterbacks, I know a couple teams that would be. I don't call them desperate, but that would love to make that splash headline by hiring him. Initially, like I said, I'm thinking OC. He can go a lot of places and be an OC, in my opinion.
Of course, yeah. That's easy.
But yeah, I have a couple on my mind.
Who you thinking about?
I'm thinking the Giants would probably, when I bring him in as a HC, they would do something like that. They bought in worse. They bought
have a new quarterback.
I'm not saying he's bad. They bought in candidates for it. They bought in hires at head coach that were less qualified, less decorated than him. I would consider that if I were them. Carolina. I mean, it's a couple teams, man.
It's not gonna be Carolina. It's not gonna be Carolina. It's not gonna be Carolina. I can tell you that right now. Because Dave Canales just got that job, and two, Bryce Young is getting it together. They got to get that thing another season, like because Carolina's not going anywhere. This is kind of like an in season, off season. I don't even know how to say it, but it's like an in season, off season type thing for Carolina right now because you're still in the regular season, but like you kind of getting some off season work against real competition, and you get to put all this on film and then fix some things in the off season and then be ready next year and add some pieces. So I don't know. I don't even know how to describe that, but if you catch my drift.
Yeah. I just named two teams. Definitely New York Giants, man. I gotta sit back and think about the other teams, but I know there are probably a few more that would like to try that.
Let me see what these teams look like, because that's a very good point. The Jets could use him to fix the culture, because they just need to almost clean house minus the some of those young guys.
But my thing is, I don't know if he's a culture guy, and especially with Aaron Rodgers still there.
Aaron Rodgers not going to be there next year. Aaron Rodgers is a free agent. He's not going to be there next year.
Well, we can't guarantee that, right? So as of right now, what we know, we can't guarantee that.
Okay, he's at least a free agent. Let's say that then. Okay.
Yeah.
We know that Aaron Rodgers controls that building. Mm-hmm. So he's like, I'm staying. Well, Aaron, we really don't want. I'm staying. Okay. So
okay. Well, let him. Well, then okay, that's fine. Let him keep controlling the building then, because I wouldn't. Could Chicago look at him with Caleb Williams?
That would be an enticing place for any offensive minded head coach to go, because you got a young quarterback that has a skill set. He has a skill set, and you just
that could be the marriage right there. That could be the marriage.
Yeah, he needs development,
because he's good. Caleb Williams is good, man.
No, Caleb Williams is good. He needs.
Wrong.
That's what I was going to say. He needs help. He needs help to become a true quarterback.
Yeah.
And actually, here's the thing. Eric Bieniemy was in Kansas City when Patrick Mahomes was in his early career and was going into his prime. Eric Bieniemy only been out of Kansas City for what, 2 seasons? So he's watched the growth and the development of Patrick Mahomes. I'm not saying Caleb Williams is the next Patrick Mahomes, but he can help guide his career to maybe Pro Bowl level, all pro level, something.
He teaching to stop holding the ball so long.
That too. But that comes with it.
He back there making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches with a plastic knife and making long distance phone calls on a rotary phone. Like, boy, if you don't get rid of that ball, you know your offensive line trash. But yeah, Bieniemy is interesting. We're going to get more into it later on as the season ends because the coaching carousel is going to definitely heat up and get fast. It's going to spin faster because we know there's some people, there are some teams that are already going to be looking for a coach, and then there are going to be some teams who they finna jettison some folks, which brings us to our next topic because there's speculation around Frisco, Texas, that there might be a return of Mike McCarthy to the Dallas Cowboys. Now, everybody who's around football knows something about football. Like, yeah, he's done. He's done. He's cooked. He's a lame duck coach. They're gonna fire him. You know, this is deplorable. But we getting whispers from Jerry Jones, some of the players, like, yeah, we love to have Mike back. And it's like, are you masochist? What are you doing? You know, but sometimes when there's smoke, there's fire. It could be nothing at all. He could be done at the end of the season. But as our two, and I'm glad you guys are both on at the same time because I'm going to defer to you and I'm going to give you guys the floor after the introduction of this segment. But what are your thoughts on the reality, the possibility of Mike McCarthy returning to the Dallas?
Eric's trying to see here he go. Here he go. See, y'all don't know Eric, man. I'm not going to entertain this. Listen.
It's a legitimate question.
No, it's not. No, it is not.
Yes, it is. There is actually things in the media that are pointing.
Actually, Steve, I will say this though. It has been on Twitter because Dak has really said something. Michael Parsons has said something. Jerry Jones said something. Now,
I'm not entertaining this. Y'all go ahead without me.
No.
You don't do that.
Wait. Both of y'all wait. I see where both of y'all going with this. Okay. Yes, it's a legitimate question without being a legitimate question. Okay, and I said it. I said in the group chat either yesterday or today. I said, listen, I think that they are just trying to butter him up because he's still under contract. They haven't fired him yet. Okay, I think that's what's going on. Now, absolutely. If he does come back, I mean, look, I'm already boycotting, so I don't know what else I can do because it's hard for me to even watch a game knowing the fact that this guy is so bad as a play caller on offense.
Listen, man.
Hold on, wait. Let me tell you something, Eric. Your man had a Kyle Shanahan moment on Monday Night Football. And you said, Brandon, what are you talking about?
No, okay? I'm not. No, I'm letting go. Do your thing.
If for those who don't know what I'm talking about, if you go look at the box score, our running back Rico Dowdle had over 100 yards on the ground with 18 carries.
131 to be exact.
Okay, 131 to be exact. But it just wasn't the yards. It was the yards per carry. He had over 7 yards per carry.
Yes, because Cincinnati's defense was deplorable.
But you decided to throw the ball 31 times with a backup quarterback who has no arm whatsoever.
Hello.
Why? Why do you even? Rico should have had 25 to 30 carries.
He unnecessarily put his team at jeopardy. Like, and everybody's talking about I'm going to interject just for a second here, let you finish. But everybody's talking about the muff punt and all of that, the block. But the thing is, had Mike McCarthy coached like Brandon is talking about, they wouldn't have even been in that situation.
I was going to say, you wouldn't have to worry about that. That might not even happen.
Cowboy fans that are watching,
Look,
please comment in the comment section below and let us know what you
look,
think about it.
You
it's
run. Hold on, Steve. Hold on, Steve. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. I'm sorry. But you got to run the ball. And if you are going to throw the football, the only person that really should be targeted is CeeDee Lamb. And you should know, as long as you've been coaching in the NFL, how to get CeeDee Lamb open in one-on-one situations, man. This is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You don't know how to coach on offense, but you've been an offensive guy in the NFL easily since the 90s. And I know, and I know offense has changed a lot. Okay. I've watched it change. We've all watched it change. But you should have been keeping up with the times, and you have not done that. You still coaching like it's 1995. And I'm not 10 years old anymore. Steve, go ahead.
So, well, I just agree with one point. CD is by far the best player we have on offense. I feel like some plays do get open here and there. So I feel like forcing it to CD is a big problem. But that aside. This headline about retaining Mike McCarthy has to do with two things that are very simple. Because Jerry Jones and Cowboys fans and Eric knows, I don't know these guys, believe that we can still make the playoffs if everyone else loses every game and all kinds of crazy stuff. That's number one. All right, that's number one. Number two, man, I mean, and I said it early this season on the show, like, McCarthy's done. Like, I don't even need to address this anymore. He's going to be done. He'd have been done last year if he didn't win 12 games. And I think it's just that simple, man. I mean, headlines, hey, man, they said Derrick Henry was going to get 2K yards this season, too. That's not going to happen. So, headlines, man, they can say whatever they want. He will not be back next year. So, I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Okay, so first of all, real quick, what's up, Donald? And then second of all, Cleveland, look, let me tell you how bad Zeke is, okay? If Zeke couldn't do anything against Cincinnati, what makes you think we need to feed Zeke anymore? No, actually, the last few weeks, though, Rico has been getting a majority of the carries.
He's been balling.
Zeke needs to retire. And we get to that another week in our show. Everybody stay tuned. But yeah, and Steve, I get what you're saying about feeding CeeDee Lamb too much. And I get, yes, you should still spread the ball around, but at times CeeDee should still be targeted when need be. When in certain situations. That's what I'm saying.
A lot of these picks are in double coverage, man. Even when Dak was playing, they hike the ball in looking at one person. They're gonna force it in no matter what. You got to be better than that as an offensive.
Well, then, but also though, we need better receivers because like freaking Jalen Tolbert ain't it. Jalen Brooks ain't it. Trading for Jonathan Mingo is definitely not it. Losing a fourth round pick for him.
Some guys do get open though, man. I mean, forcing the CD double coverage is not the solution. We have guys
I know,
can get open
but also, Steve, if you heard what I said, you should know by now how to get that man open in one-on-one situations.
You better scheme him open.
But he's rarely in one-on-one situations.
All I'm saying is you've been coaching since the mid-90s on offense in the NFL, and you watch the NFL change, and you don't keep up with the times. So, yes, CeeDee Lamb's going to be double covered.
I mean, I would. That just makes the most sense. He's the most dangerous. Like Steve said, he is the most dangerous weapon on offense.
Yeah.
For the Cowboys. And he still hasn't quit. Like, he's probably the only player on that team that's really playing hard at this point. He's like, because he's out to prove that no, you didn't make a mistake paying me. I'm still going to make the Pro Bowl. I'm still probably going to be first team All-Pro, even with a backup quarterback. I'm going to prove my worth to this organization. And for that, I admire him because they have nothing to play for, despite what Micah Parsons said weeks ago after they beat the Giants. And it's like, we going to make a run. And, everybody else that lived in reality was like, nah, man, y'all cooked.
Listen,
but CD still was playing and fighting. So, like, I respect.
And I'm agreeing with you, Brandon, as far as Mike McCarthy, because I'm really dwelling on these red zone interceptions that keep freaking happening, man.
Well, in that case, you got tight ends like Luke Schoonmaker, who's 6'7", find a way to get that.
And
Try to.
that's
You
yeah,
need to be working with him
and
on
that's
red zone stuff in the practice.
and that's what's ingrained in my mind. Cooper Rush is snapping the ball. They run the play. He can throw the CD no matter what. When
But
other
but
people are
no,
open.
that's on Cooper Rush, but it's also still back on Mike McCarthy, who just can't, who don't know how to. He has a major mental malfunction when it comes to offense in the
I'm
NFL.
talking about first and goal on the 1 or 3 yard line, and you're passing it the first 2 plays. And the second one,
And that part as well. But what I just said, he has a major mental malfunction on
yeah,
offense,
yeah, yeah.
and it's horrible. It's horrible.
Let's move on, man.
All right. So, speaking of just people just saying stuff out of pocket, we have two different situations on two teams that are headed in two opposite directions this season, but they're very similar in nature. So in Philadelphia, AJ Brown was interviewed after the Philadelphia's lackluster performance against the Carolina Panthers. Yes, it was a win. It was very lackluster considering you're playing the Carolina Panthers and you're supposed to be one of the most dominant teams in the NFC this year. And he said, they said, was there something? The question was, and I'm paraphrasing, what could you think the team could improve on? And he said, passing. Now at that point, he's throwing a subliminal shot at his quarterback at this point.
Running
And
back.
okay, his quarterback, let's not confuse people at home. We're talking about Jalen Hurts. He was throwing a subliminal shot at Jalen Hurts, and they won the game. They're 11-2, but it was a shot that was taken. And we know that there's a history of Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown, not quite meshing. Also, Brandon Graham, one of the team captains on defense for the Philadelphia Eagles, went on to say, well, these guys used to be friends, but there's something different going on. And now since then, today, as a matter of fact, they kind of went back on the comments that were made. But from my point of view, and I'm gonna let you guys chime in, this is not something we know, Brandon. We know. Now, does AJ Brown have a point? Absolutely. Jalen Hurts threw for less than 200 yards against the Carolina Panthers.
I think it was like 108 yards or 104 yards or something like that.
Yeah, it was pretty low. And he hasn't been the Jalen Hurts that we've seen go on to play the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl 2 years ago. So while AJ Brown does have a point about what he's saying, from my point of view, and it's unnecessary. You causing unnecessary distractions and drama in your locker room. You are an 11-2 team. Yes, you're not winning pretty, but hell, the Kansas City Chiefs aren't winning pretty. They winning ugly every week, and I think that's because basically they sold their souls to Satan. But that's another story. And she's sitting in the press box. But go ahead, Steve. Say it. The views of right in there. Don't say it. But the point is like you're causing drama where there need not be drama in this organization. You're on the verge. You're right now. If the season were to end today, the Philadelphia Eagles would be the 2 seed in the NFC. Okay, and that can change. There's still 4 more weeks of football to play. You have the league's leading rusher and MVP candidate in Saquon Barkley in your backfield.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you have the number 1 defense in the league. That's stuff that you need to keep in house. In my opinion, like Steve and I were both members of a fraternity. Steve's a member of 2 fraternities. I'm a member of 1, but that's just an example. Your football team is your fraternity. If there's issues between brothers, you keep it in a house. And that's from my opinion. This is my opinion only. All of that stuff should not even seen the light of day. Period. Because you're derailing your progress as a team with all of this jibber jabber. Go, fellas.
Yeah, I mean, I think the culture Sirianni has allowed for players to, and once in a while, different locker rooms, lash out and say stuff they probably shouldn't say. I think um, he probably allows that culture in the locker room, just from what I observed. But again, I also have a thing about players speaking too much and being on all these podcasts, Micah Parsons included.
Oh boy. Wait
keeping
till the next topic. Keep going though, but I like that you brought that up.
Keeping a house. It's not healthy. But I mean, hey, now everyone has a platform to say what they want, and so certain teams allow. You could tell certain teams do not.
But so let me. Not it's not even rebuttal, but it's just a question. It's like a leading question. But how do you feel about that, as far as in the locker room? What is your opinion of what that does to a locker room? Is it nothing? Is it much ado about nothing, or could this derail them with these distractions?
Of course,
go ahead, Brandon.
It can derail them because you're gonna have people choosing sides. Okay, it's like Philadelphia a long time ago when people were choosing sides between Donovan McNabb and T.O. I think this could be that again. Now, as much as I agree with AJ Brown and I agree with you, Eric, that this should not have gotten out, let me say this. AJ Brown, this is your fault. Why? Because you already knew who Jalen Hurts was when you got traded to Philadelphia. You signed a contract extension this past off season. Okay? So you agreed to stay with this team. I'm not saying you was up for a trade, but now you're locked in for a few more years with this guy. So if you didn't like his passing, you should not agree to a contract extension and maybe if asked for a trade, if not this past off season, but it's coming up off season because now it's going to be real difficult to move on from you because you got that contract extension. So you knew what you signed up for. You did. You knew what you signed up for. You and this ain't the first year or season or whatever that you complain about passing. Because I believe you complained about it last year, but you still signed that contract extension. So you stuck with Jalen Hurts, regardless if you like his passing or not. This is on you, Slim.
Well, now I'm gonna give you a little bit of pushback. To be fair, 2 years ago, AJ Brown was one of the most prolific receivers in the league with Jalen Hurts throwing the ball. So I have I kind of agree with you, but at the same time, I know that they're capable of producing big numbers. Now, you go and look at it from the holistic side of it, of what the team is doing. No, the passing number should be down. Why? Because you got one of the best running backs in the league. And you're running through people like Oatbrand. So, with an X-Lax chaser. So, I mean, you're going to basically have some of the passing numbers go down. Now, if you have a good enough offensive coordinator, you know how to work off of that. Because if you got a good running game, Brandon, you know where I'm going with next. You know what I'm about to say next. You got a good running game, that opens up what?
The passing game, especially play action. But and I get that. But here's the thing. And I'm gonna say this again. Jalen Hurts has not truly developed as a quarterback like he should. I know what you're saying about what happened a couple years ago, but Shane Steichen was the OC at the time.
Good point.
And they still the same RPO offense team. I'm sorry. Jalen Hurts has been stuck. He's been stuck as a one-read quarterback and take off. That's all he is. He has not truly developed as a quarterback. And yes, I know I give him a hard time. Like I just said on here, yeah, Jalen Hurts still running back. Part of that is reasons because he's not been truly developed as a quarterback. He's not. And between this run game and now the tush push, really, I don't think it's really they've been really using like that. But if I got guys in the boxing, yeah, AJ Brown's gonna be able to dominate one on one. But you got to be able to take advantage of it too. But then you also still got to develop your quarterback to be a quarterback. And when are you gonna stop doing so many RPOs?
And that has a lot to do with scheme. Because I mean,
And quarterback development in the offseason.
that yeah, but at this point in the season, it has a lot to do with scheme. It definitely has a lot to do with scheme because you can create the illusion of somebody being a good passer even if they aren't with the right scheme. Case in point, Jimmy Garoppolo. We all know Jimmy Garoppolo ain't even in the league no more. He ain't even in the league no more. A lot of people don't know that. But at one point, everybody was talking about how good he was, except for those of us who knew what we were looking at. But the scheme made him look like he was a good quarterback. As long as everything was on schedule. And the Philadelphia Eagles actually had the roster to do everything on schedule. And the other opposing defenses wouldn't be able to disrupt what they're doing because they have a great offensive line, you got a great running back, you got a good tight end, you got two good receivers. So the roster covers up any of the inadequacies you might have.
And that's what's going on.
So the inadequacies with scheme are being covered up because you have so many good players. But that's a play calling thing, and it's also we kind of got off on a tangent. It was a play calling thing, but honestly, and we're gonna get to another topic about people just saying the wrong things at the wrong time when their team's going through something. But the that's too much of a distraction because people are going to continue. You know how the media is going to continue to ask questions. They're going to literally drive a wedge because they need clicks. They need headlines. Even if they got behind closed doors and they hashed it out and there's no more beef and they still win a game. That's the thing. They still winning games. That's the crazy part. Like, this is completely unnecessary because you're winning games. I could understand. No, I couldn't because you still don't do it. But I was going to say if they lost to Carolina, and there's frustration and people say stuff they don't mean and everything. But this looks even worse because if I'm not mistaken, Philadelphia's won 7 games in a row, if I'm not mistaken?
Something like that. But also, you also got to remember, too, you in Philadelphia anyway. So those fans are ruthless.
Yeah. How you gonna boo Santa Claus?
They are ruthless. And honestly, I saw a clip on Twitter where they were already talking about getting rid of Jalen Hurts. I saw that clip. Fans were like, let's get rid of him now.
Yeah.
So the wedge, if it's not in the locker room, is among fans, and I'm sure that's going to be a topic. I'm sure that was a topic Monday morning on Philadelphia radio. I'm sure it was.
They beware of the knee-jerk fans, and it just so happens that Philadelphia has a lot of them. The majority of their fans are knee-jerk.
Baltimore too.
Very niche. Very, very niche. Chicken Little Sky is falling knee-jerk fans, and those people I cannot stand.
They love you or they hate you.
Yeah, there's no in between. And in this society that we're in, a lot of that is prevalent. It's like you either are the GOAT or you trash. And it's like, no, there's levels between that.
No, it really is. There's a lot of levels between that.
Honestly, people who think like that are people who are very low intellect to not be able to think pragmatically about certain things, Yes, are there people that are trash? Absolutely. Are there people that are on GOAT level status? Absolutely. But we have a lot of people in the society nowadays, especially when we're talking about sports, you either the GOAT or you trash. And it's like, come on, bro. I need you to step your game up in your thinking. So on to the next subject. First thing, I want to preface it with this. everybody who follows this podcast knows that I am a San Francisco 49ers fan. Okay. However, I am the type of fan that I hold my team and my players to a much higher standard than most other fans of that team. Oh, I'll just let it go. It's fine. No, I'm harder on my team than most people that don't root for my team. So what are you talking about, Pando? Well, Debo Samuel's in the news right now for the wrong reasons. Okay, forget about the outfits. I ain't even going to that. But he made there's been speculation that Debo is kind of getting a step slower. He's not as productive. Da 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 da. He's washed. Da 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 da. This and that. Well, out of frustration, Debo goes on Twitter, because we call it Twitter here. We don't call it X. He goes on Twitter and says, "I'm not struggling. I'm just not getting the ball." And anybody who watches Niner games is like, bro, what you talking about? Now, again, I want to preface it with my previous statement about people are always black and white, no shades of gray, because you have one side of it. Yeah, Debo is washed. He trash. Da, 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 da. Then you have the other side that was like, no, he's the greatest of all time. Da, 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 da. He need to get the ball more. Both sides are wrong. And there's slants to this. However, he should not have made the statement that he made. And here's why. Okay, he has had 64 targets. I'm not even counting the rushing attempts. Not even counting that. Actually, I will. He's had 32 carries and he's had 64 targets. Put that together. That's 96 attempts at touches. Okay. On top of that, he has 5 drops. Okay, so where am I getting at? Part of it is his fault that he's not as explosive as he is. And then part of it is going back to scheme. What is Debo Samuel known for? What has he made his bones on? Gentlemen?
Yards at the catch.
Okay, after that, what else?
Being able to run the ball.
Going back to
being a running back, or those end arounds or jet sweeps, right?
Yeah, getting the ball back. Yeah.
Okay. That's Kyle Shanahan's fault. Because people are like, well, Debo Samuel's not as explosive as a runner anymore. The NFL is caught up with Kyle Shanahan. If Debo Samuel is in the backfield, he's getting the ball. And if you know he's getting the ball, you're going to crash the backfield. So he may only get a yard or 2. If you see Debo Samuel coming across in motion, it's an end around more than likely. And there's 5, 6, 7 guys waiting for him when he gets to the perimeter. So he only gets a yard or 2. He's not washed. It's the scheme. Now, on the other side of that, Debo Samuel, you got to catch the football. When you do get your opportunities in the pattern, Debo Samuel has 5 drops. Now, it's only 5. There are a lot of players who have way, 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 way more drops this season than Debo Samuel. I want to be clear on that. Like Amari Cooper has 11. Malik Neighbors has 9. David Njoku 7. CeeDee Lamb has 7. Jaden Waddle has 7. There's a lot of guys who have more drops than he does. However, at crucial moments, if you're supposed to be the big dog on the team, you have to make those catches. And you can't say, well, I'm not getting the ball. Sir, you have to make the most of every opportunity. So I can see it from both sides. Kyle Shanahan is not imaginative with his play calling, so it's making Debo look like he's washed. And then it's also Debo's fault because there are a lot of times he doesn't make catches when those are the crucial catches that need to be made. Right now, Jawan Jennings, a 7th rounder from Tennessee in his 3rd season in the NFL, is lighting it up. The guy runs a 4.7, by the way. Lighting it up. He's the best receiver on the outside of George Kittle. He's the best receiver on the 49ers this season. Okay. And you're a second rounder. You're top of the second round, which is like bottom of the first round. You're borderline of first round draft pick, Debo. You have to lock in and step your game up. Now, the question about the explosiveness, I have no doubt he has explosiveness because when he does get in the open, he still shows he still has that burst. He still has the ability to run through somebody's chest and out their back. However, one, you shouldn't make you shouldn't make comments like that on getting your feelings and make comments like that on Facebook. Not Facebook, excuse me, Twitter. Regardless of what people are saying, go out there and play your game. Secondly, you shouldn't be making those comments when your team, and for all intents and purposes, the 49ers are cooked this year. They're done. I know people saying, well, they win this game against the Rams on Thursday night. They're still alive. Yeah, but that's because the rest of the NFC West is trash, and I'm going to get into that later. Okay? But you're in the middle of a struggle trying to get into the playoffs. You're trying to win your division against teams that you know you're better than, and you're behind them. You're in last place in your division, and you want to make a comment like that? That causes way too much friction. So it's the opposite end of the spectrum from the AJ Brown. Why are you making all this friction and you're 11-2? You have a possibility of being the number 1 seed in the NFL. And then on the Deebo Samuel side, why are you causing more friction when your team is already going through it? You got a laundry list on your injury report. Your injury report reads like a laundry list. It's as long as I'll get out. You trying to piece together a team each week to play, and you gonna come with this foolishness? Really? Come on, bro. And you got the C on your chest. You got the C on your chest. Fellas, what are your thoughts?
But you know what? Well, you're right. You shouldn't be saying that stuff on Twitter. If you got a problem, you talk to your head coach or the offensive coordinator about that and see, how you get the ball more. But, the ball's coming your direction, so you got to execute. You got to catch the football. That's the only way you can execute when you run your routes. You got to catch the ball and make plays. So if you're not doing that, that's on you. And you've been in this league not long enough to know that. I wouldn't be surprised if he's gone this offseason, not just because of performance or whatever he said, but I knew somebody had to be on the move at some point when y'all drafted Ricky Pearsall in the first round.
Yeah.
Now, of course, it didn't happen this year.
Well,
But
that's because of cap issues. But I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna rebut with that when you finish. Go ahead, and we gotta let Steve go.
But I know where you're probably going with this, Eric. But when you draft people in the first round, you moving on for somebody. You are. You just are. That's how it is.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Steve. I'm sorry.
I think we know there was trade talk around Deebo, and of course that frustrated him in the offseason because that trade talk was real. That frustration right there says puts a bad taste in his mouth anyways. To his defense, for those who don't know, the NFL drop is the ball that hits your hands before a defender touches it. Could be a bad throw. You touch it, you don't catch it, it's a drop. But back to Deebo. I mean, you don't have to voice your frustration. He's sending a message because he doesn't usually do stuff like this.
Exactly.
So I think this is his shot at Kyle. I think it really is. This is a shot at Kyle. And the front office, I think frustration has been mounting since his past offseason. He's voicing his frustration. I mean, he's kind of pulling, and this is my guy. Y'all know this. He's kind of pulling the Stephon Diggs move just a little bit right here.
The difference is, though, Steve, Stephon Diggs eats when he gets his targets.
It's true. That's true.
And that's coming from a Niners fan.
But Deebo gets the ball a lot more, all kinds of different ways. Deebo's on kick return. Yep. Deebo gets a lot. They get a lot of mileage out of Deebo. They really do.
Yeah, and I think that's where the frustration comes from because it's like, you're like, do you know who I am and what I did for this team?
He's on kick return. He's in the back. He's running jet sweeps. He's going out for routes. I mean,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. I'm saying this, he's getting somewhere, man.
Yeah, and the thing is like he facilitates a lot of other guys making plays. His presence on the field opens up a lot of other stuff for other guys. Oh shoot, the Debo in jet motion, and you so busy watching Debo in his jet motion that you didn't miss the tight end slipping over here in the flat, and George Kittle catches the 5-yard pass and turns it into in a 15-yard gain. So he opens that up. You take Debo off the field, a lot of that stuff doesn't happen. Now, Brandon, to your point, there's a lot of stipulations going on with his contract where the 49ers will be taking a huge cap hit if they got out of his deal. But post June 1st, if he's traded, they can recoup a lot of that money. Now, here's the thing. We don't know what Ricky Pearsall is. So that's a major gamble, like letting Debo walk for Ricky Pearsall, who like I said, we still don't know what he is. We don't know what kind of condition Brandon Ayuk is going to come back in. So it actually might be cheaper to keep him. So we'll have to see. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
You know what? I'm sorry. Then let me finish with this, and I'm not going against you, okay? But just listen to what you're saying. Then that sounds like a NFL trade deadline thing next year.
It could be. I'm not gonna lie, it could be, because and fun fact, though after the trade deadline this year, Debo Samuel got a phone call. He talked about on his podcast, which I hate the fact that he has a podcast. I hate any active player having a podcast.
I agree.
But he said he got a phone call from John Lynch during the deadline, and he thought he had been traded. He really thought he had been traded. And I think, like I said, it's the frustration of the fact that, like to Steve's point, and Steve, you made a good point there, and that's something I didn't think about till you mentioned it. It's the fact that he's put his body on the line for the team on several instances, and he doesn't feel appreciated for it. He's like, "Oh, you're gonna put me on the trade block?" Like, where was this energy when we didn't have healthy running backs, and y'all needed that crucial first down against Green Bay to kick that field goal in the snow?
Yeah, man.
2 years ago to get to the NFC Championship. Where was this energy when I was when I was put up 1,700 yards of total offense? I was 1/3 of the offense in 2021. Where was this energy?
I mean, he's getting 60 touches a game, man, 50, and it could be a sweep. He passes it to McCaffrey coming around to whoever. Like he gets the ball a lot, man. I mean,
yeah. But I think it's a subliminal shot at Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah.
I don't think it's an issue of, and I think he worded it wrong. And I think that's what the issue is. It's still, regardless, it still doesn't matter. You shouldn't put that out there in the atmosphere.
You're right.
But I think what he meant was, and I agree, it's not that he's getting the ball, it's how he's getting the ball. Because if I tell you, hey man, you can borrow my truck, here the keys, and I didn't took the drivetrain out, you're just gonna be hitting the gas, and the truck ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Or if I flatten all 4 tires, like, and a lot of the play calling. Now, Kyle Shanahan was masterful against the Chicago Bears, which leads to more frustration. He was masterful against the Bears this past Sunday. I saw play calls I had not seen in 2 or 3 years, and it was like, wow. And that makes it even more frustrating because guess what? You could have been doing that the whole damn year. And now your back's against the wall. You got a 4% chance of making the playoffs, and now you want to change up when everything is getting desperate because one more loss and the 49ers are done, which it could come as early as tomorrow, okay, because of all the injuries. So, I don't want to stay on my soapbox long because we need to get to other things. But the point is, Debo Samuel, AJ Brown, that energy is not needed out in public. Keep it in house. If you have an issue and you have a grievance, go to that person behind closed doors that's within your organization. Hey, we're gonna hash this out. Okay, I'm not getting the ball enough, or I'm not getting the ball in the right way. I'm getting the ball. You setting me up for failure. Everybody knows I'm coming across on that jet sweep. I'm gonna get a 2-yard loss. When I'm in the backfield, I always get the ball. Put me in the backfield with somebody else, fake to me and get to somebody else. Case in point, they did call something like that against Chicago last week. Had Deebo Samuel and Isaac Guerrero in a pro pistol formation behind Brock Purdy. They faked the handoff to Deebo. He turned around and handed to Isaac Guerrero. 20-some yard game. Because everybody ran to where Deebo ran. The whole defense went, let's go get him. Let's go get number one. And here go 31 going around the corner. So, yeah, I just, it's there's fault on both sides of this, but it's mainly on Deebo because he put it out in the atmosphere. So, there's that. So, top five.
Top five.
All right, so we're going to start with you, Brandon, because you're number one. Steve, you're number two. I have Tristan's top five he sent to me, and then I'll be last, and then we'll go snake style. Brandon, number five.
Minnesota Vikings.
The Minnesota Vikings. Okay.
I think they lead the league in interceptions as a team, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe you're right. I think they lead in takeaways, at least I know.
Man.
Yeah, you know who leads in giveaways? Probably Dallas. My bad.
You know, I got so much I want to say about Dallas, but I'm not going there right now. Anyway, listen, Kevin O'Connell might be someone that teams need to learn from. Not saying every single team, because some teams already know how to take care of their quarterbacks. But Kevin O'Connell is another example of taking good care of your quarterbacks and make sure the quarterback room is good. Sam Darnold is playing much better this season than anybody expected. I definitely hand raised right here. Sam Darnold's going to get a nice contract this coming off season. Not saying it's going to be $50 or $60 million a year, but I think he's going to get himself a nice contract this coming off season from somebody else. So we'll see.
Real quick, the Vikings are number 2 in takeaways.
Okay, they're number 2 in takeaways. Okay, but
that's still very good.
And Brian Flores as a defensive coordinator. But
yeah,
Flores has been good for defense for a long time. Since his days in New England. So that's my number 5, Minnesota.
Okay, Steve, number 5.
I have Minnesota also, actually, man. Their record, and again, these are our current top 5s. I have a feeling that I haven't recognized too many upsets between the competitive teams. I feel like when the playoffs start, so much is going to change, man. I just have a feeling this year.
I think it's going to start this week because if you look at the slate of games this week, we're going to find out some stuff.
I feel like a lot of teams are playing possum until these playoffs start. I feel like there's going to be some upsets. Some people who only lost 3 games in the season lose to like a 5-loss team, whatever. But no, man, Brian Flores and the way the offense is clicking for the most part to win these games. The Vikings, man, they're top 5, at least, in my opinion.
Okay. Tristan has the Buffalo Bills as his number 5 team.
Not mad at him.
And I can see that because of the loss to the Rams, who should not be allowed to carry the Bills' jock straps. Okay. But I'm going to count that more as a one-off and a trap game because they had a spectacular, sensational game last week against the 49ers. They crushed them in the snow. And they come off of that. They're like, oh, this is just the Rams. And they basically got caught slipping. And they, still, Josh Allen had a masterful game. Masterful game against the Rams, even though, the defense didn't help him much. But Tristan has the Bills at number 5, and I can see that. I can see that. So my number 5, I have the Kansas City Chiefs.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah, they're way down for me because
you just hate Swift, man.
Huh?
You just hate Taylor Swift, man.
I do hate Taylor Swift, but this has nothing to do with her black magic, sorcery, and witchcraft. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the witchcraft, though, because right now they're winning by witchcraft. Let's be honest. There's about 4 or 5 games that they have had this season that they have won by some unscrupulous ways. So it is, they don't frighten me as much. Isaiah Pacheco's back in the lineup. He's running the ball well. That's a lot of that's keeping them afloat. Pat Mahomes, he gets way too much love because he's having the worst statistical season of his career. And Travis Kelce is a shell of his former self, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you really look at it, right now, Brock Bowers and George Kittle are better than them.
But
Brock Bowers is killing,
and Brock Bowers is doing that with a bad quarterback.
He is killing with the Vegas Raiders.
And this is the gift and curse of achieving so much success earlier in your career. Because you talk about Mahomes and Kelce, they won so much earlier. They'll still be heralded while having less than mediocre seasons, especially if they're winning games too.
Yeah, and like they're literally backing into wins. They're not charging straight forward like that. So that's why I have them as my number 5 team. Are they still one of the best teams in the AFC? Yeah, because of their record. Their record says that. But there are teams in the AFC that I think that are better than them.
Oh yeah, of course.
And definitely in this league. And I think that they get the right. You know how black folks say you got the right one today. Like that. They get the right one on a certain day.
Mm-hmm.
The refs ain't gonna be able to help them. Okay. Taylor Swift ain't gonna be able to go, I Dream of Genie or whatever. That shit ain't gonna work. You know what I'm saying?
No, he
So I'm just saying, the Chiefs are a shell of them former selves. They're still a very good team. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying they trash because you know how some people are like, oh, you either great or you trash. No, I'm not saying that. They're still a top 5 team in this league, but they are my number 5. My number 4 team, and they dropped from last week, is the Buffalo Bills. Because of that loss to a lackluster Rams team, people give the Rams way too much credit. They give them way, way, way too much credit. Matt Stafford is a good quarterback, and he's so efficient and blah 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 blah. This Matt Stafford, your booty sweat tastes so good, Matt Stafford. Shut up. Okay, Matt Stafford's good. I'm not saying that, but they give him way too much. Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp's not as good as he used to be. Puka Nacua is dealing. He's eating. I'm not going to take that from him. The 2 young defensive linemen,
killing it.
The 2 young defensive linemen they have are playing outstanding.
Which 2? Because it's 3 of them.
Fisk and Verse.
Okay.
But Young is playing well too. But
I was going to ask about Turner.
Yeah, but the secondary is still suspect outside of Cam Curl. Cam Curl's he's really good. But the offensive line is still suspect. And I'm going to go ahead on a limb and say this. Whoever wins the NFC West is going to have an early exit from the playoffs. I don't care who wins it.
I agree.
This year is they are the NFC worst. Okay? Yeah. It's literally you got 4 turds floating in the toilet, and you're going to see which one float up to the highest. Highest in the water. That's literally the NFC West this year. Okay? So by the Bills losing that game to them, like I said, I'm a one off it because it's a trap game. I think the Bills bounce back. I think they shake back. They had already clinched their division, so it's like, okay, it's the Rams. But I think once the playoffs start, they're going to really shake back. So they're my number 4 team. Tristan has the Steelers for his number 4 team.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Steve, who you got?
I will pick Philly. I'll pick the Eagles.
Okay.
And they're playing good football. They have some locker room, drama, but they're playing good football for the most part. I have them there. I think they could beat the Vikings, who I had number 5, but I don't think they could beat my top 3 teams.
Just to let you know, you did have the Eagles last week at number 4 as well. So
Okay.
they stand in pat.
Yeah.
Okay. Brandon.
Number 4, I too have Buffalo at number 4. Same reason. You lost to the Rams. Puka Nacua, you had no answer for him. You had no answer for him. He just shredded your defense. He literally shredded your defense.
Yeah, that defense is like they started off well, but now they're like, okay, if the Rams can do that to them, it's like, come on, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
but again, I'm still gonna say it's a one-off. All right, Brandon, number 3.
Number 3, Kansas
I'm
City.
sorry, Brandon. Brandon, you had last week for your number 4, you had the Chiefs.
Okay, well the Chiefs move up to number 3.
All right, you got that moving up off of a doinked field goal, but okay.
I know, but Buffalo tumbled.
Yeah, I it's they're winning, but it's like you shouldn't have to win like that against the teams you're playing, if you feel me.
No, I listen,
You know,
man,
it's
I get it. And I think the playoffs is going to expose some teams.
I think
Some
they're
of
gonna
these
be
teams
one
with
of
these
the ones.
good records, huh?
I think they're gonna be one of the ones get
That's what
exposed.
I'm saying.
Who?
That's what I'm saying,
Who?
man.
Who?
The Chiefs.
I don't think it's just the Chiefs.
No, I'm not saying it's
That's
just
what
the Chiefs.
saying.
I'm not saying it's just the Chiefs, but I'm saying that like that I think their record is an illusion.
That's what I'm saying, man. When the playoffs start, there's a lot of teams out here that have been, playing possum all season that are still winning games that are going to turn it on in the playoffs. I really believe that.
So with that in mind, Steve, who's your number 3?
My number 3, I have to pick the Bills, and the only reason is because if they go head to head with my top 2 teams, I don't think they're going to win because of coaching and coaching alone and scheme. They've been playing great football. They've been playing better football than my number 2 team. But
okay, so
head to head.
For reference, you had the Lions at number 3 last week.
They moved up. They moved up for me this year.
Okay. Tristan has the Vikings at number 3. I think that's a little rich.
Whoa.
Yeah. Because honestly, they're not even on my top 5 this week. Honestly. Whoa. Yeah. Now, could they get back? Absolutely. But they're not even on my top 5 this week. But he has the Vikings. The big question is going to be, and we can talk about this on another show, are they going to extend Sam Darnold? When
I don't think so. I don't think so.
You have a new quarterback.
Listen.
You got a young quarterback that was start.
I'm already hearing that Sam Darnold is gone because they're not going to be able to afford him. It's going to be JJ McCarthy, who's going to be in the second year, and they're going to bring back Daniel Jones as a cheap veteran.
Well,
that's what I'm hearing already. I'm telling you,
he can get paid in a couple other cities, man. So he definitely had a redemption season in Minnesota, man. So I'm happy for him. He'll get some money.
So Tristan had the Bills as his number 3 team last week. Okay. But he has the Vikings this week.
Okay.
My number 3 is the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Okay.
And here's the 2 reasons why I have them up there. Because I think if they met Kansas City, they beat Kansas City. But that's not one of the 2 reasons. One, that's the number 1 team in takeaways this season. That defense is taking the ball at an exponential rate. And the number 2 reason is Russell Wilson has revitalized his career in Pittsburgh. He looks like, and I hate that I'm saying this because I might jinx him, because every time I give him his flowers, he stinks the place up. Every time I say, okay, he's done, he plays well. It's just me. I feel like I'm just, whatever I say, he does the opposite. So I don't want to jinx the man, but like, he's playing solid football. Now, is he an MVP candidate like they've been talking about on some media outlets? I don't think so, but is he good enough to go out and win that division and possibly win the AFC? Yes. I think that team is good enough. So I have them for my number 3, and my number 3 last week was the Bills who failed.
Okay. Who's your number 2?
My number 2, I have the Eagles. And just for I had them as number 2 last week. Yeah, it was a lackluster game against a Carolina Panthers team that is improving.
Yes,
Carolina,
they
if
are.
you sit down and actually watch a Carolina Panthers game, it's like, okay, you can put on tape from early this season and put a tape on now of the Carolina Panthers. You're like, okay, you know what? They're getting better. They losing, but you can see better football, better brand of football being played.
And that's why I had to watch them in the second half, because you was like, y'all watching this game? I was like, okay, well, let me watch the second half.
I was like, hey, I need to turn this on, because it was a game for a while.
It was a game the whole time.
Yeah, against a team like the Eagles, it was a game. I was like, okay. Part of that was the Eagles, but part of that was Carolina.
It was. It really was. It really was.
They managed to pull that win out, so I'm leaving the Eagles at number 2. Tristan has the Eagles at number 2 as well. Steve, number 2.
I got the Chiefs.
Okay.
I got the Chiefs. They finding ways to win. It could be lucky field goal. Could be some missed calls. It's part of the game. It's part of football. It happens to every team. They're winning. I don't think they're playing the best football, but right now, I think they're the second best team in the league. Now, of course, when playoffs start, this is all going to change. But right now, I think they're the second best team. They're pretty solid in all phases. So, yeah, I got KC. It's that simple.
All right. Brandon. Oh, Steve, you had I'm sorry, Tristan for his number 2. He had the Eagles last week too. Steve, for your number 2, you had the Chiefs last week. Brandon, who's your number 2?
Y'all ready for this one? Steel curtain defense.
Okay. Steelers.
Okay. Brandon, listen defense, man.
I like good defense too.
Listen,
I'm defensive minded. I love good defense.
My boy Brandon, listen, he loves some defense, man.
Hey, man, listen, Steve, man, you ain't never lied, man. I don't know what. Hey, first of all, you gonna get me off subject real quick. I don't know what got me into defense.
Mm-hmm.
I know what got me into defensive line, but I don't know what got me into defense. Maybe just defensive line. I don't know, but anyway,
nothing better than good defense, man.
You ain't lying.
That's the best right there. Good defense.
God, man, I tell you, but Mike Tomlin just wins.
Yes.
You know the famous quote by the late great Al Davis, just win, baby.
Yes.
That's what Tomlin does. He just wins. It doesn't matter who his quarterback is. He is just out here winning. He like, I know Tony Dungy is the first black head coach of all time to go to the Hall of Fame. When Tomlin is done, he's next.
How can you deny him?
He is next.
How can you deny him?
And
he has never had a losing season.
And trust me, right now I'm enjoying every moment of this. I'm just enjoying it. So I'm gonna have you at number 2 because I'm going with defense and I'm going with coaching.
Yeah, absolutely. Because when everybody thought he was crazy when he sat Justin Fields and had put Russell Wilson in. Everybody, he makes decisions that people look at like, oh man, that's nuts. And then it works out and it's like, wow.
He won. He had a winning season with Kenny Pickett at quarterback.
Come on now. Come on. I mean, so yeah. So Brandon, who's your number 1? Oh, I'm sorry. Your number 2 last week, Brandon, was the Bills, and they fell, obviously.
They fell 2 spots. God.
Who's your number 1?
Motor City, baby. 8 Mile.
Everybody from the 313.
Little Shady. Eminem.
Now that right there, and you had the Lions last week as well. And we'll go more into it. Let's keep it moving. Steve, who's your number 1?
Same man, Detroit.
Lions. And you had the Lions. No, Steve, you had the Bills.
Lions. And I feel like the Lions.
They went from your number 3 to your number 1.
If they, they indoors against any team, man.
Mm-hmm.
That opposing team is in trouble.
So Tristan has the Lions as his number one as well. And he
Yeah.
had them last week as his number one. I have the Lions as my number one, and I had the Lions last week as my number one. This is the first time we've had a consensus all the way across. The Lions are that's an example of not just finding ways to win, but winning in a dominant fashion despite the injuries, despite who's not in and who's out. It's like they're gritty, they embody the personality of the city. And if they get this number one seed, which I think they will, it's gonna be a problem trying to win a game in that dome. It's gonna be hell.
And shoot, you'll get to it, E. But I'm looking forward to this Lions Bills matchup.
And with that,
listen. I'm looking at the schedule now, and I was like, they listen. They got 425 games on both channels. I was like, wait a minute.
Yes, sir. And
Listen,
with that,
here we go.
All right, so
man.
All right, because this slate of games this week, I looked at some of the games and I'm like, oh my God.
Yes.
We're gonna figure out who some people are this week.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Y'all better pay attention to this.
All right, so I'm gonna start with the tomorrow night's game, the Thursday night game on Amazon. It's the Rams going to Levi Stadium to play the Niners. I am taking the Rams in this game simply because the Niners are too banged up. The Rams are healthier. That's the only reason. The Rams are inferior to the Niners if they're completely healthy. The Rams have not swept the Niners since the Kurt Warner era.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, we own them, okay? But we don't own them if we're not healthy. Nick Bosa might play. Trent Williams definitely is not playing.
Yeah, they already ruled it today.
The outstanding rookie safety Malik Mustafa is not playing.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Greenlaw will suit up for the first time this season. Okay. However, I don't know what he's going to be like coming back from that Achilles. There's speculation that Isaac Garendo, the rookie sensation running back who played so well against Chicago, I don't know if he's going to be able to play.
I better bench him.
Yeah, so that's still speculative. It's a game time decision, I believe, because he had limited participation in practice today. But the Rams are healthier than the Niners. That is the only reason I am picking the Niners to lose to the Rams, because it's going to be a close one, because the Niners have enough pride. You're not going to come in here and run roughshod over us. We do that to you. You don't do that to us.
Right.
But I feel like there's going to the health factor is going to help the Rams get over in this game, and that's the only reason why I'm picking. So I have the Rams by a score this particular week. Enjoy it while you can, Rams fans, because we own your ass next year. Commanders go to New Orleans to play the Saints. Derek Carr has a season-ending hand fracture. I don't know what's going to happen. So, honestly, the Commanders are playing a better brand of football than the Saints are right now. The Saints are scratching and clawing and fighting, and it's admirable because they're going down swinging, but they are definitely going to go down swinging against the Commanders on Sunday.
Let me chime in real quick, E. The Commanders, it's a must-win game because when they were 4-2, 5-2, Commanders fans just knew they submitted playoff berth at that record. If the Commanders lose this game, the Rams are on their behind to get in. Really, the whole NFC West is on their behinds to get in. A couple other teams in the South and the North. Commanders have to win that game. If they don't,
it's a must-win game. But I think this is one they're gonna win pretty handed.
I think they will too. I think they will.
I think they will.
But it wouldn't be surprised.
They have to.
Nah, they're gonna win. They're gonna win.
No. This is one that they're gonna win, and it's the same reason the Rams are gonna beat the Niners. The Saints are just too banged up. They're just
Yeah, because
I
Derek
really
Carr's out. I think Taysom Hill's out. Like
yeah,
that's
Taysom Hill was out 2 weeks ago. He's out for the year. Yeah.
Oh
oh well,
wow.
there you go.
Yeah. So I really feel like I really feel like in a perfect world, both teams are healthy. The Saints will give them hell and possibly win the game, but not this week. Not with all the injuries. They
We're
just
gonna
can't.
see.
They can't sustain.
Mhm.
Crazier things have happened in that dome, though. I'm gonna just tell you that right now.
And it gets loud in that dome.
Yeah, the next game I have the Chiefs at the Browns. The Chiefs are gonna win.
Is
Okay,
this a Stone Cold lock?
no,
What?
not a stone cold lock because of the way the Chiefs have been playing and because
Oh, yeah.
Jameis Winston is a born again believer,
Okay, I see it. I see it.
and the Chiefs are using black magic.
I
So
see. I think I see Stone Cold lock then.
okay,
There's a couple, I think.
so I do not be shocked that the Browns somehow, some way pull off an upset, but because they have upset some good teams this year, they have. People forget about that. They upset
Ravens and Steelers.
They supposed to teams that they are supposed to lay down. Yeah,
That's right. That's right. That's right.
the
Okay.
Browns have a tendency to upset teams, so that would be an upset alert. But I still feel like the Chiefs are going to win.
Yeah.
Bengals at Titans. The Bengals season is effectively over as well, but I like Joe Burrow to continue his how can you say his empty MVP campaign because he's gonna put up a bunch.
He can put numbers.
Him and Jamar Chase are going to put up numbers.
Jamar Chase has 15 touchdowns. They're both going. Okay, Joe Burrow's going to make first team All Pro, and if not the Pro Bowl, Jamar Chase definitely is going to be first team All Pro with CeeDee Lamb. But they're going to beat the Titans. They're going to beat the Titans. But
the Titans cannot beat the Jaguars last week without Trevor Lawrence.
Exactly. So
ain't no way they're going to win this game. That should be a lock right there.
Unless the Titans are smart and just run the ball because Cincinnati's run defense is deplorable. If you
now Tennessee can't run the ball with Tony Pollard,
and that's the thing. Tony Pollard is 10 times running back than Rico Dowdle is, and Rico Dowdle hit him for 130.
Well, I wish my fantasy roster will reflect that, but it doesn't. Yeah. Unfortunately,
if the Titans are smart enough to run the ball, then it's going to be a game. But other than that, if not, but when you got that high flying offense right now that's happening in Cincinnati, they can keep pace. So I like Cincinnati to win that. The Miami Dolphins traveled to the city of syrup where we ride on them swingers to Houston, and I'm glad I'm gonna be in town because I ain't trying to be in that traffic.
Run a shoe city.
They're gonna play the Houston Texans. The Texans are gonna win this game. We got a healthy Will Anderson.
So Eve have froze up right now. E, you good?
I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Will Anderson is healthy. Daniil Hunter is healthy. I just hope Tua doesn't get another concussion. Now, without Azeez Al-Shaair, that's going to be a problem because he was the quarterback of the defense. That probably lessens Tua's chance of getting another concussion with Azeez not in the game. Because I think Azeez would probably get kicked out of the league at this game if he played. But I got the Texans winning this game. The next one is my Stone Cold Lock of the week.
Hold up.
The Baltimore Ravens will dog walk the New York Giants.
Yeah, I figured that was your Stone Cold Lock after you said the other one wasn't.
They are going to dog walk the New York Giants. We might see the FedEx ground player of the week in Derrick Henry.
Because no Dexter Lawrence.
This Dexter Lawrence is not playing. That was another part of it. And the Giants are already dog water. So, now Dexter Lawrence, their best player on defense, is not playing. Look for Derrick Henry if they smart enough, because the Ravens do dumb stuff. If they smart enough, Derrick Henry is going to have himself a day.
I'm thinking 250.
Yeah, he can definitely have himself a day.
He can have 250 yards.
Yeah. So that's my Stone Cold Lock of the week. That's the Ravens beating the Giants. The Jets are going to Jacksonville down to Duval County to play the Jags, and this is one of them who gives a damn games.
Oh man, because you know, wait a minute now, wait a minute, because we
yes,
know
go ahead,
this.
go ahead.
Trash, 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 trash. I am trash.
Man, y'all are crazy, man.
All right. So
Hey, listen, man, listen. The Jets and Jaguars. Oh, you know, Matt, just. Oh God,
This is my favorite segment of the
Eric,
show.
there's nothing to say. Just pick a team. Who cares? Pick one.
you know who gonna win this game? The person who doesn't tune in.
Me.
I have to pick a winner. So because the Jags are at home, I'm gonna go ahead and pick the Jags. But honestly, who gives a damn? Honestly, I don't even think there's people in Jacksonville that give a damn. Honestly. So yeah. Next game, the Dallas Cowboys travel to Carolina to play the Panthers.
This is embarrassing.
And
the
Cowboys play better on the road.
No, let me tell you something. This is embarrassing.
Yeah, we do. Only one home.
For the first time since 2022, the Panthers are favored to win a game.
Holy, I did not know that.
And they are favored to beat Dallas by 2.5 points last time I heard.
Okay, so that's the basic 3 point. That's the basic 3 point gimme for the home team.
Come on that one.
But it doesn't matter. The Panthers are still favored.
Yeah, but
I feel like Dallas has just hit a completely new
record low. Record low. Yeah.
Completely new low. I don't care about the record. I don't care about anything else that happened. I don't think this even happened to Jason Garrett. This is a new low, in my personal opinion, that the Panthers, for the first time since 2022, are favored to win the game, and it's against the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
If you listen,
this is
listen. Hold on, Steve. I'm sorry.
We got more games to call now.
I know that, you know, maybe they're just gonna let him walk out the door. I feel like you lose this game, you just need to go ahead and fire him regardless. Forget the last 3 games. Just go ahead and fire him.
Dallas lose that game. Make McCarthy walk home. Have his stuff packed up.
Don't even fly back to Dallas.
That's what I'm saying. He needs to figure out. Brandy, you shared some real estate information with me a few weeks ago. Okay. He needs to go ahead and just go back to his ranch in Wisconsin or wherever it was.
I'm done, man. I'm done. If we lose this game, man, it's just wow.
But I wish we would have lost more games. No, he's going to
I do too.
Get a draft pick.
I do too. Because the thing is, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But the reason is because we lost to Cincinnati, we lose to New Orleans, but they still have a higher draft pick because of strength of schedule. And I'm like, we need to lose.
Hey, don't apologize to Eric, man. Eric's loving this. Don't apologize to him, man.
I'm trying to get to the rest.
I know he's loving it. I know he is.
We're already over an hour and a half. I'm trying to get to the rest of the picks, y'all.
Listen.
That's all I'm trying to do.
Listen, I'm trying to Dallas. Eric, you know deep down inside your little evil spirit, that your little evil spirit of heart, that you loving that Dallas, that we complain this much about Dallas. Okay? That's why you cheating so hard. No, that's why you cheating so hard.
I'm used to it. All right. So I have the Cowboys winning this game against the Panthers by a score. Dallas plays better on the road, and they don't know how to get out of their own way because, like Steve said, it would be more fortuitous for them and more advantageous for them to actually lose this game, but they're going to win it because they need to lose it. So they're going to win this game because they need to lose it, but they're going to win it. So, give me the Cowboys over the Panthers. Next game is the Bills traveling. No, I'm sorry, not the Bills. The Bucks. I'm sorry, the Bucks traveling to SoFi Stadium to play the Chargers. I like the Chargers in this one. I like The Chargers, people forget the Chargers have a top 5 defense. I like Baker Mayfield to throw a couple to him. And I think that Jim Harbaugh can outcoach Todd Bowles.
Agreed.
So I like the Chargers in that one. Next game, Colts at the Broncos. The Broncos are scratching and clawing and trying to get their way into the playoffs. They running neck and neck with the Chargers.
Yes, they are.
And some other teams for a wild card spot. So I like the Broncos over the Colts. The Colts are dog water. Anthony Richardson, fun fact, has the lowest QBR in passer rating in the league right now. So yeah, Broncos. The Patriots travel to Arizona to play the Cardinals. I like the Cardinals to win that game. The Patriots are bad. Okay, the Cardinals are mediocre. Bad, mediocre. Okay. So there you go. The next game is a pick'em game. These are the next 2 games that everybody gonna want to see right here. And I think they own at the same time, which sucks. The Bills travel to the 3-1-3 to play the Lions.
Mm-hmm. On CBS.
Get your popcorn ready.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, this is a pick'em game. However, the Lions are at home, and the Bills defense just now started looking kind of suspect. I think Sonic and Knuckles gonna run all over the place, and Jared Goff is dealing right now. So I like the Lions to win this one. I really like the Bills in the playoffs. I don't think they're gonna shoot.
This could be a Super Bowl preview right here.
It could be.
Don't be surprised if both teams play conservative and play possum before we're in week might be 15 tomorrow, right? So don't be surprised if teams are kind of just laying low just a little bit, man.
I can see that, but I like Detroit over the Bills simply because if the Bills can't beat the Rams, damn man. But I still like the Bills, but I like the Lions to win this game. Next game, the battle for Pennsylvania. Steelers travel to Philadelphia to play the Eagles. This is another pick'em game, y'all.
The Pennsylvania Steagles.
That's more popcorn right there, man.
You need to pop another bag of popcorn, baby.
This one's on Fox.
Look here, man. Don't bother me on Sunday. These last 2, I'm just talking about right now. That's what I'm talking about. Man, look here. I ain't got a dog in the fight in either one of these games, but I want to watch them because it's going to be some good football. The Steelers have one of the best defenses in the league, and the Eagles have the best defense in the league. And I like the Eagles because they're at home, and they got something to prove. Again, this is a pick'em game, which means it can swing either way.
Okay, Titus got some picks up in here. I see him.
Okay. If it comes down, Titus, I want you to write your picks down and put them up against mine at the end of the week. I bet you I'm gonna beat you. But I beat everybody. So yeah, I beat people. People actually go to Vegas on my picks. All right. But I like the Eagles in this one in a very, very close one. I think it's gonna be a low scoring game. Honestly, I think it's gonna be a very low scoring game, and it could come down to the field goal kickers. Or it could come down to situational coaching. And in that case, I do trust Mike Tomlin a bit more.
A bit more, a lot more.
A lot more.
Thank you.
But the Eagles are at home, and so I like them at home.
Personnel. They got that personnel, too.
Yeah. They have the better roster. So, like, I'm looking at the roster. If you went down the tail of the tape, coaching, Steelers. Grit, Steelers, quarterback, Steelers, but overall roster, Eagles, So
I agree.
Yeah. So, but I like the Eagles in that one, but that could swing either way. Both of those are pick'em games. The next game, a lot of people think this is going to be a good game. I don't think it will be. The Packers go to, I don't know what they call that stadium now, but they playing the Seahawks. The Packers will be beating the Seahawks. Cut and dry.
Didn't it used to be called CenturyLink?
They used to call it CenturyLink, but it's something different now. I don't really.
Oh,
care.
really?
The really soggy stadium in the Pacific Northwest. That's what it is. Okay, but the Packers are going to beat the whole Seahawks resurgence thing and Geno Smith. Shut up right now, because now y'all
Go
you
Smith. Go
all
Smith.
you
Hey,
all
Jamal.
you dusty ass, fake ass Seahawk fans that you're gonna be pulling out your jerseys that you put up in 2014. Yeah, because you only had them for 2 years.
Go Smith.
Y'all didn't pull them back out. I'm a Seahawks fan. Where was you when they was ass? Because they still kind of ass. But the Packers are gonna win this game. Okay. Bears and Vikings. Vikings. Okay. The Vikings are at home.
Yep.
Caleb Williams, he holds the ball too long. Like I said, he literally makes peanut butter and jelly sandwiches with a plastic butter knife, and while calling long distance on a rotary telephone in the pocket. So
Well, that's coaching, man. They said the same thing about Justin Fields, which he was doing. So he'll be better next year. But yeah, they're gonna lose that game. That game.
The Vikings, the Bears defense might put up a little bit of fight because how bad they got done dirty by the Niners last week. So I don't see the Vikings dog walking the Bears, but the Vikings will win that game. Last game, Falcons at Raiders. I can't believe this is a Monday night game. Like really, Steelers and Lions and Steelers and Eagles and Bills and Lions should be the 2 Monday night games.
I agree.
But you got the Falcons playing the damn Raiders on Monday Night Football. Like, what the hell wrong with y'all, NFL? So I like the Falcons beating the Raiders, although Brock Bowers is eating. No, he's one of the best kept secrets in the league right now.
Yes, he is.
His team is so bad, but Brock Bowers might be the next George Kittle or the next Gronkowski. That's what he reminds me of. Physical play, great hands, good run after the catch. Gronkowski, Kittle, those type of guys. And he's a ferocious blocker. That's why I won't say Kelsey, because Kelsey don't block. Kelsey just kind of get in your way. But to recap, Rams over Niners, Commanders over Saints, Chiefs over Browns, Bengals over Titans, Texans over Dolphins, Ravens over Giants, Jaguars. Ravens over Giants is a stone cold lock. Jags over Jets, nobody cares. Cowboys over Panthers, Chargers over Bucks, Broncos over Colts, Cardinals over Patriots, Lions over Bills. This is a pick'em game. Eagles over Steelers. This is also a pick'em game. Packers over the Seahawks, Vikings over the Bears, Falcons over the Raiders.
All right.
Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, thank you for joining us for another week of Just a Fan Podcast. Please hit the like button on your YouTube side. Share, subscribe if you haven't already. If you're subscribing for the first time, hit the notification bell and put it on all so that way you be notified when we go live. Facebook, also, we're live on there as well. Please hit the like button or even the love button because they do have a love button on Facebook side. Also share the content with your friends and family, please.
One more thing. We're going to be putting up some polls on our Facebook page. So just go ahead and go make sure you follow us on Facebook because we want to hear from the fans. And it's going to have a lot to do with our end of the season show.
Yeah, so please get ready for that. Also on we also live on Twitch as well. If you can like stuff on Twitch, because I've never seen the Twitch side yet, please like it on Twitch. Also follow us on Facebook for the reason Pando just said. You can also follow us on Twitter. You can follow us on IG and TikTok as well. You can also listen to us on Apple and Spotify podcasts. Me, Coach Williams, the NFL Encyclopedia, right brick on my brick. Just letting y'all know. That direction. Panel 316, the good guy with the black hat. Remember, guys, everybody, it's Kyle Shanahan's fault no matter what it is.
It's Kyle Shanahan's fault.
Hey,
it rained the other day, and it's Kyle Shanahan.
Oh, my goodness.
Listen. All that snow, that all that lake effect snow that was going on, that was Kyle Shanahan's fault. Even the lake effect snow that produced a water spout in the middle of the lake. That was Kyle Shanahan's fault. Okay, so just always remember that no matter what happens in your life, it's Kyle Shanahan's fault. If the blinds fall off your window, it's Kyle Shanahan's fault. Okay, all right, all right. Down below,
It's Kyle Shanahan's fault.
Steve Space Age White. You know what time it is. All right. So all I gotta say is good night, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Peace.
Thank y'all.